Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Faith Fridays. I'm always super excited to come here and film an episode of Faith Friday. It's one of the highlights of my week. So thank you for coming back again. Thank you for watching this episode as well. This week we're going to be doing something different. I'm not going to be discussing like a Bible verse that I studied. I'm still in the book of John, but this week I also studied I think First Corinthians 13 about love and all those things, trying to understand what love is because we're in the week of love and stuff like that, right? So Valentine's was this week, but I'm not going to be talking about all that. Today I'm going to be talking about what our relationship is like with God when we don't need anything, when we are not in a season of wanting and praying for something. What's our relationship with God like? Right? For the past couple of months now, say 2, 3 months now, I have been struggling in the place of prayer. And that has made me realize that my relationship with God up till now had been really transactional because I so for some of you that don't know, I came to Canada. I started school, started my masters. After school, I was looking for jobs, looking for internships, and I used to join all sorts of prayer channels, praying, asking God for a job, asking God for something, right? And I God answered my prayers, right? God answered my prayers. And after He answered my prayers, even before He answered my prayers, I would legit be doing everything that a Christian is supposed to do. I would pray consistently. I would fast sometimes. I would also like watch my behavior, my character. I would watch the things I say. I would just try my best to work towards living a Christian life and a holy life you know, because I was looking for something from God. When God answered my prayer, I found myself slowly but surely, crawling back into old things. I started doing things that, when I was looking for something from God, I wasn't doing. And I feel like this is something that is common. Um, I would still join prayers, but I started seeing that most of the prayer channels I was joining, they were really need driven. They were tailored towards, or if you are looking for something, if you want something from God, which is valid. If you're in a season of your life where you need something from God, you want something from God, the Bible, there's numerous Bible verses that talks about God being our provider and God, you know, and God providing our needs. Bible tells us to also ask and to be given unto us. Bible tells us that God is our shepherd, we will not want. Things like that. Bible has said we should not be anxious for nothing. A lot of Bible verses about need, want, and us coming to God with our wants and our needs, right? But what is the situation when you don't feel like you want anything? You don't feel like you need anything. What is your relationship with God like? That has been what I've been struggling with. When I'm joining prayers, it's I don't know what to say. I don't know what to pray about. I don't know how to pray because the prayer that I'm joining is, oh God, do this, God do this, God do this, as opposed to what is really going on inside me. I don't want God to do anything for me at the moment. I just want to get to know God. I want to know God. Even like sometimes, and this is no shade, right? It's just what it is. A lot of people need a lot of things, and most times that is why people go to church, right? Because they are in a season of need and a season of want, and they God is the only person that can provide that for them. They've tried their best to do it themselves, but only God can. But right now, I find myself, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Sometimes when I go to church and the preaching is all about like need and want and how God can satisfy you and things for you to, things that you should do to find favor in the place of in the presence of God and things like that. It leaves me, it leaves there's something in my mind, there's a space, that there's a hole in my mind that, oh, I'm not getting what I need. I'm not being filled with the kind of words, or I'm not being filled with what I need, basically, which is a better relationship with God that is not transactional, that is not from a place of, oh, I want something. That is from a place of, I want to please God and I'm looking for how. Do you get, like, it's been in my mind, I've been struggling, and I started thinking back. I know that I've, growing up, I know people that would only call their parents for, oh, stuff. They would never, have conversations with them outside of them, needing something. They wouldn't just pick up the phone and say, oh, dad, how are you? How are you doing? It's always transactional. It's always, oh, I need something from you. So that's why I'm calling. I don't care about how you're feeling. I don't care about anything. Satisfy my need. And of course, the father will do that just because he's the father. He loves his children and wants to provide for them. Do you get? But I don't feel like that is right. I don't feel like, oh, you should only come to your father, or you should only speak to your father when you're in a season of want, when you're in a season of need, right? There are also like some set of people that, come from a place of fear, come from a place of, oh, they don't want to be strangers to God, so that when they need something, when they want something, it's not like, oh, when you have a friend and the only time they also speak to you is because, they want something, or a situation where your friend will be calling you and speaking to you and talking to you maybe 7 days before they actually ask for what they need, so that it won't look like, oh, you have not spoken to me in a while and you just come to me with a need or a want. So some people also come to God with that attitude of, oh, let me pray, let me be praying now, let me join prayers now, let me be talking to God and be worshiping and be praising, so that when I do need something, it wouldn't look like, oh, I'm a stranger to God. It wouldn't look like, oh, God doesn't know me, or things like that, so that God can answer my prayers. And that is pretentious. I find that pretentious, and I've been there. I've done that. I've also done the whole situation of, oh, it's only when I need something that I'm praying to God and I'm behaving in the way that I'm supposed to behave, as opposed to it being a relational, it being relational, as opposed to it being, oh, I love God for who He is, and that is why I'm living a sacred life. That is why I'm living a holy life. That is why I'm living a good life, according to God's standards. And God also knows our hearts. Even as much as you're trying to live a holy life, you can never meet God's standards. That is why He sent Jesus Christ to die for our sins, right? But imagine now doing stuff like pretending to live a holy life just so God can meet your need, or just so God can give you stuff. It's just so pretentious. That's what I would say, because God knows our hearts. God knows our hearts. So that's the season I'm in, and I just thought to come share with you guys. I'm in a season where I don't need anything from God, and I'm struggling to be in a relationship with God. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm struggling to hold on to my relationship with God, because I'm all of a sudden I'm like, okay, what do I do? Like, how do I do this? Because I'm not praying to God, God give me this, God give me this, God give me this. So in the place of prayer, when I'm even during my own personal prayer times, I'm like, what do I pray about? How do I pray? What am I praying for? Before, I would come, maybe worship for like 2 minutes, pray, thank you God for like 2 minutes, and I dive right into, oh God, I have this problem, I have this challenge, please do this for me, please do this for me, please do this for me. But now all of that is not there. I'm in a place where I can't think of any want or need for myself, maybe except for my friends and my extended family, just interceding for them. But for myself, I can't think of it. Again, it's not like, oh, I have everything I want in the world. But right now, I think I'm in a place where I have what I need and my needs are being satisfied, but there is something in me that is still, wanting that relationship with God, and I don't know how to search for that. So that is why I'm titling this video, What is your relationship like with God when you don't need anything? I'm in a place again where when I try to pray, or when I'm praying, I don't know what to say. When I've said, "Oh God, thank you for today," I'm worshiping, or I've prayed, I've said you know the prayer, like I don't know what else to say or what else to do. I have that struggle right now, and I don't know if anybody can relate, or can if you can relate to this, if you can, speak on this or shed more light or enlighten me in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts, or what you have to say. But it's just like a dilemma. So I am in a place right now where, I'm trying to just study the Bible and see what God says about relationships, study the Bible and see what God says about prayer, see what God says about, you know about coming to Him, not just for what we want or not just for what we need, but just because of who He is, and because of the fact that He's my Father, my Father, my earthly Father. Right now, I enjoy, talking to Him. I enjoy chatting and joking and just gisting with Him. Right? I want to get to that same point with God, where I am, just coming into His presence, calling onto Him, praying, just because, I want to hear from Him. I want to gist with Him. I want to please Him. I want to make sure He's fine. I want to make sure, just things in that order, right? So yeah, yeah. I pray that God helps me in particular, but everybody else, or anybody else that is watching this. I pray that God helps us understand that the hole that is in us cannot be filled by other things, cannot be filled by our old habits, drugs, alcohol, pornography, sex, material things. It's a relationship that hole is searching for. It's a relationship that hole is yearning for. And may God help us understand how to allow Him feel that, you know, how to build a relationship with Him. May God help us understand that. May God just, I don't know, may God just teach us how to have a relationship with Him, how to have a relationship that is not need driven, that is not want driven. Because at the end of the day, when I have a relationship with God, my needs are met. It's the only thing I need. It's the only person I need. My needs are met. But that shouldn't be the core reason why I'm praising God or worshiping God. So may God help us. I just had to do like a brain dump. Next week, by the grace of God, we'll continue with our Bible verses, and from time to time, when I have these thoughts, when I have these things at back of my mind, I'll also share them, because I'm trying to, create like a community of Christians that love God and are trying to please Him and are trying to, worship Him. I'm trying to do that with Faith Fridays as well, right? So yeah. Thank you guys for watching till this point. Let me know your thoughts and your comments in the comment section. I don't know if this video is going to even make sense, or it's going to be all over the place, but please try and just pick the points and gather the points and try and understand that the main point that I'm trying to say is, what is our relationship with God like when it is not need driven, right? And just evaluate yourself and search yourself as well. Until I come your way again, remain in God, and God bless you. And I'll see you in the next episode of Faith Fridays. Bye.